I really did it. I really went and bought a Sony FX6. And if you're thinking this is a video where I'm going to tell you that you should be buying one too, you got the wrong video. Not because it's not a good camera, but because nobody told me I should buy it. I had to learn and figure out what it is exactly I needed in a camera. And that's how I was eventually able to make the right decision into getting this camera. It was time for me to get a second camera. And I'm at the point in my career now where I want to lean more towards movies and short films. Speaking of films, my family and I just got back from the International Christian Film Festival in Orlando, Florida. The day I met Elijah, that's based on a true story, a supernatural encounter that I experienced. I made a short film about it, and it was selected and nominated into the world's largest Christian film festival. And it was just a really cool experience to be able to go out there, and we walked the red carpet. We met celebrities. We met Bill Dukes and Billy Hollowell from CBN and Gregory Allen Williams. I also met one of my YouTube subscribers, Director Z. I also subscribe to his YouTube channel as well. He's a fellow Christian filmmaker and makes really great content. So if you have a chance, go subscribe to his channel as well. It was just a really cool experience to be able to, enjoy that with my family and see the day I met Elijah be screened on the big screen. We got some really good reviews. One woman even approached me and cried, talking about how much she loved the film and how much it spoke to her. We did not win the trophy, but nomination itself is a win. And during that whole process, God reminded me that the goal was never to win an award. The goal is and continues to be to spread the gospel through the challenge that God has given me. We're actually working on a new movie right now that I'm really excited to start sharing with you all. But this video is about the Sony FX6, so let me get back to that. So I knew it was time for me to upgrade and get a cinema camera. And like I said in the Sony skit, it ain't the fact that y'all are just so much better than everybody. It's just the fact that I'm already invested into the E-mount lenses and the E-mount ecosystem, It just didn't make much sense for me to have to sell all my stuff just to switch to another brand. That didn't make sense. It just made more sense for me to upgrade to the FX6 because y'all take it forever to come out with the Mark II.
If you say so.
It really didn't make much sense for me to go to another brand because I would have had to sell all my gear and get another camera in order to switch to another brand. And it was just too much of a hassle. And me personally, I think Sony is one of the best, if not the best brands when it comes to cameras.
I could have told you that. Oh wait, I did tell you that.
All right, so this won't be a scientific review. I'm just gonna talk about what I like about this camera and if the upgrade is worth it. Now, this isn't my first time using the Sony FX6. I've rented it before, twice, and I fell in love with the camera then, but it was way out of my price range back then, so I didn't even think about buying it. But here recently, after I bought it, I've just used it for 2 wedding videos. And here's really what I've learned. The image really isn't better than the Sony a7 III. I have both of them side by side right here. And now the lenses on here are a little bit different. On the Sony FX6, I have the Rokinon VAF 35mm T 1.9, and on the Sony a7 III I have the 24-70 G Master 2 f 2.8. It's the Samyang VAF that's pushing more green, and the Sony G Master 2 has more natural colors. But both of them are at 35mm. I don't have the FX6 at 2.8 right now, but let me see. I think I could change it. Let's see, 2.5, 2.8. There we go. So starting off, that's the first thing I like more about it. The FX6 is updated, so I can use the monitor and control app with the FX6. I can do things like change the aperture. I go all the way down to 1.9, see 1.9, go up to 2.8 right there. So both of these now are at 2.8. And so yeah, now the image should look pretty similar. Now I will say on the Sony a7 III, when I first got it, when I was using S-Log 3, I took the saturation all the way down. So there's no saturation in camera on there. I always add that in post. Now I just left the FX6 at the standard settings, except for the noise reduction. I put that on low, and I'll add any more noise reduction in post. All right, the first thing that I want to say that I like more about the FX6, which made the upgrade worth it, is that the FX6 has built-in ND filters. Now, I know a lot of people saying, but so what, man? I could just screw an ND filter on the front of my lens and call it a day. But I'm telling you, once you have that built-in ND filter, it make your life a whole lot easier. Once I set my camera up, y'all, once I put the handle on it and the monitor on it, the lens and the battery, I don't need anything else because everything is built into this camera, and that's what makes a cinema camera a cinema camera. And I know it sounds something small, but that is a big deal. So say for instance right now, if I wanted to add the ND filter, There we go. And the ND filter's on there. Well, yeah, look, watch. I can use the ND light as I want to right there. There it is. Lighten the ND up. All right. And I can make it as dark as I want to. So yeah, make it as dark as I want to. But it's pretty dark in here, so I don't need ND on right now. There we go. And we put the iris back. And so it comes in a lot handy, especially when I'm using my anamorphic lenses. I'll show you that in a minute. Right now I have the 35mm on my Sony FX6, my VAF. Once I put my anamorphic adapter on there, if I put my matte box, my Tilted Mirage matte box on there, it's gonna vignette pretty bad. It's gonna show the size of the matte box on there because it's a very wide anamorphic. I don't have to worry about that on the FX6 because the ND filters are built into the camera and it goes over the sensor, so I don't see any vignetting. All right, so now I have the anamorphic adapter on here. All right, so you see you don't see any vignetting. You might see a little bit, not much. All right, so I turn the overhead lightings on so I can get a little bit more lighting in here because you need to overexpose S-Log 3 to about 2 stops. You can see I have the anamorphic adapter on now. You don't see any vignetting. And also when I put the ND filters on, still don't see any vignetting, no vignetting on the FX6 because the ND filters are built inside. Now, I'm gonna switch over to the A7 III and you'll see the difference. So I forgot that my microphone was hooked up to the Sony FX6. I thought I was recording audio this whole time, but I wasn't. So yeah, but anyway, as you can see here with the Sony A7 III, you already see vignetting, and I don't even have the Tilted Mirage matte box on it yet. And now when I put the Tilted Mirage matte box on, you can see even worse vignetting. That's a big deal. This is another reason why the built-in ND filters on the Sony FX6 is worth it. You don't have to worry about things like this. And then the second thing is really only 2 things that make this camera worth it to me. The second thing is I never have to worry about overheating again. This is a cinema camera. It's supposed to go all day as long as you have the battery power to push it. It's supposed to go all day and never overheat. It has the built-in fans and everything. And I've never seen any review about Sony FX6's overheating. So when I go on shoots on wedding days or commercials, I don't have that anxiety built up worrying about if my camera's gonna make it through the shoot. I started having that feeling with my Sony A7 III, which is why I wanted to upgrade, which is why it was time for me to upgrade as well. That was the main thing. So I never have to worry about overheating. Now the image isn't gonna be the reason why I upgraded to the FX6 because as you can see, the images are kind of the same. Even though the Sony A7 III is an old camera, the image is quite the same, and I can show you some side-by-side footage from the wedding videos. But I'm telling you, like, I've been running my Sony A7 III on the gimbal since I've had it, and now that I have my Sony FX6, I now have my Sony FX6 handheld, and I keep my Sony A7 III on the gimbal, and now I can get both shots during the wedding. And so I knew going handheld on the cinema camera is going to be pretty hard to do all day. So I also invested in the SEC. And yeah, this is a pretty cool thing, man. So to blow it up, let me show you how you use it. You unscrew that, then you blow it up. All right, and it's done. You have a saddle where you can have the camera right here and sit it there, and you relax it there. And now it works. The best thing about this, whenever you're done filming, you don't have to hold it around in your hand. You can just relax it right there, but still like kind of keep a hand on it because I'm always scared it's gonna fall off. But my thing is, like, with this hand grip on it, it doesn't fit perfectly in that. You see what I'm saying? In this little groove it has here for your camera. Now, if you take this off, it fits perfectly in there. But I like the side handle, so I keep the side handle on. What I found out is, this is the best way to put it, like this, all right? And sometimes when you're filming with it, I found myself doing this, trying to get low shots, but really if you just move it and kind of relax it and don't put your hand on it that much, just touch it a little bit, and you can get some really steady, smooth shots like this. And then when you're done, just sit it in that groove and just walk around with it like that. It is good, you know, it will help you, not get so tired, your arms get tired, because it gives you something to relax on. But it's not as perfect as I thought it was going to be, but it is good. So yeah, if you don't want to get an easy rig, this is a great option to have. So I mean, the Sony FX6 is a slightly better camera, and I do know that eventually they're going to be coming out with the Mark II, but I really didn't care at this point. I needed a new camera, and I think this investment was really worth it. I'm happy with my investment. I'm happy with the image that comes out of it. and I can't wait to grow as a cinematographer with this and, you know, see where I go next. If you all have any more questions about the Sony FX6, or if it's anything you want me to answer or show you, please feel free to let me know in the comments. But most importantly, I want you to remember that cinematography can make you money, but it cannot save you. Only Jesus Christ can do that. So if you don't have a relationship with him, please get one. If you want me to lead you in that, just let me know. I'll be more than happy to do that. Y'all have a blessed day. Love you. Bye.